the church to pray. Call on me, and I will answer you. Call on me, and I will answer you. Wait on me, and I will lift you up. Call on me, and I will answer you. Angels standing by, waiting for the call, coming from the ones who pray. I have paid the price. I have paid the price for everything you. Just receive them. Just receive them as you pray. Call on me, and I will answer you. Call on me right now. Call on me, and I will answer you. If you wait on me right now, wait on me, and I will lift you up. Call on me, and I will answer you. Call right now. Yeah. For whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. If you wait on me right now, me and I will live.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is the 6 p.m. session of No Conference 2025. And again, we are back to talk more about things that we need to do in order to have a healthy family. I remain your host, Odo Priscilla. And we had the 4 p.m. session where we talked about drugs and the effect of drug abuse in the family. The speaker reminded us of our roles as parents in the prevention of drug abuse in the lives of our children. Tonight is another session. Now, going forward, I want us to go on our social media handles, to click and like on this page, share the links on your Facebook page, your WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter. Let people know that No Conference 2025 has started. I don't want you to be attending this session alone. As you attend, get your writing materials, get your pen. I don't want you to just come and listen. As you listen, jot down something. And as you jot down something, you also put it into practice. It's one thing to listen, and it's one thing to follow through with everything you have been listening and you've been learning. Going further, I want us to just pay attention to what this is all about. This is No Conference and is brought to you by answering tough questions from children and teens. We're a growing community of parents, carers, trusted and safe adults with its presence on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram. Our main objective is to ensure that children and teenagers get the right, correct, and appropriate answers to their questions, and to ensure that parents, carers, and safe and trusted adults are equipped to give the right answers and have meaningful conversations. This we achieve through our monthly webinar, How We Do It, where we learn and share monthly book reviews and offering answers, suggestions, and solutions to questions sent to the community. Kindly click on the links and join our communities. I can see Ada White saying, lit, this is lit with the fire emoji. Invite your friends and family. I do not want you to attend this alone. Before we proceed, I want you to just take just few minutes, just talk to one or two persons beside you. Join me in No Conference 2025, because this session promises to be so educative. Before we call on the speaker, I want us to hear a very brief words of intro from Mrs. Stella Oboko. Welcome, ma.
Thank you so much for being here this evening. This is our second session. If you were here for the first session, you will know that it was worth your time. So much knowledge gotten, so much insight gotten from the first session. I would have loved to see your chat letting me know what you got from the first session. If you were here in the first session, what was your experience? We are here again for another amazing, another powerful session. Standing strong, managing your emotions and stress. You know that emotion and stress is one combo that that is not too good for us, especially when the emotions are not right. You know, stress can bring some funny emotions. Some funny emotions can also be stressful. Of course, we have a professional, someone who is in the right position to talk to us about it. Once again, don't just come in and let's just listen. Write. There's power in the things we write. Stay focused, stay expectant. Like I said yesterday, in the course of these sessions, some questions you've been asking, you may get answers via the help of the Holy Spirit. Like I said yesterday, and I'm saying again, this is a Christian faith-based conference. So God is here with us. The Holy Spirit is here with us. Jesus is in our midst. What are those parenting questions? What are those mentorship coaching questions you have been asking? This is a place to get answers to them. So don't just stroll in casually. No, be here, be present in this conference, and grab all that the Lord has prepared for you this season. Once again, thank you for being here. You're most welcome. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you so much, ma. Before we proceed, let us watch this very short biography about our speaker. While we wait for the video to show up, I want us to go to the comment section, like Mrs. Stella said. Once you are able to, if you're able to attend the first session, I want you to go to the comment section and type what you learned from the first session while we wait for the video to come up. All right, we are facing technical issues here. Okay, welcome on stage. Good evening, ma. How are you doing today?
Good evening. I'm doing very well, thank you.
You look very beautiful this evening.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome, ma. We look forward to hearing so much and we look forward to learning a whole lot from you. The floor is yours, ma.
Okay. Good evening, everyone connected to us in every place that you are connected to us this evening. You are welcome to No Conference 2025. I think I spoke in No Conference 2023. 2023, yes. I didn't speak in 2024, and I'm glad to be back in 2025, to talk about one of the most important aspects of our lives, our emotions. Thank you. I'd like to start by saying thank you to the convener of this awesome conference. Thank you, Ms. Stella Oboko, and all your team working together to ensure that lives are affected, you make impact, even in this generation. So thank you very much for this awesome and laudable conference that you have taken your time to hold consistently for a few years now. And God bless you. So I don't know. I thought my profile was to be read the other time, but I'm not sure I heard it. So let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Temitayo Ibikunle. I'm an educator. I'm a mental health advocate, an emotional intelligence and anger management coach. to mention a few things that I do. I think those are the parts that are relevant to tonight's session. So I'd like to dive right in. Usually, I usually like a very interactive audience, but I'm not even sure of um, how to interact with the chat on this platform. I couldn't connect with my laptop. I think I was having issues with the camera settings of my laptop, and I couldn't put that together before it was time. And I didn't want to be clumsy while I'm being called on. So I decided to settle for using my phone. So apologies, I won't be able to share my slides as I would have loved to, but I'll do my best to engage you as much as I can. I would like to see the chat box buzzing. I don't know how that works exactly with StreamYard. I've used StreamYard before, but I was the host when I used it. Okay, yeah, I think, oh, otherwise, thank you. Okay, so I can see your fire emoji. So that means the chat can buzz. Okay, so I would appreciate the chat buzzing while I talk because I'm an educator. I I enjoy an interactive class more than I enjoy a class where I'm the only one doing the talking. And usually, when I have to do an online class, I usually like to interact with my audience in the chat. Also, that gives me a sense of, I'm not just talking to myself. So let's dive right in for the next 45 minutes and have fun. So tonight I'll be talking on I'll be talking on standing. Okay, the theme for the conference is standing strong, and I'll be talking on managing your emotions and your stress, especially as parents. Okay, so I'll be talking about managing your emotions and your stress. So let's start with having an understanding of emotional regulation. Okay, emotional regulation is the ability to manage and modulate your emotions in respect to different situations. Now, I understand that this is a faith-based conference, and we all know that man is tripartite. Is that how they call it? Meaning that we are spirits, we have body, and then we have a soul, and we live in the body. Okay, and oftentimes we know how to feed our spirits. Many times we know what we need to do to feed our bodies. We understand diet, we understand exercise, and we understand sleep. Okay, those three things take care of our bodies. We know how to feed our spirits. We understand studying the word. We understand praying in the spirit. We understand making declarations. We understand those spiritual things that we need to feed our spirits. And when it comes to the soul, what has been really, really taught us over the years is just the intellect, which has to do with we go to school, we learn, or the informal learnings that we do, okay, at home. But there's a part because we know that our souls are made up of the intellect, the will, and our will, our will, intellect, and hey, who can give me the third one? But right inside that mix is where our emotions are. But the truth is, especially on this part of the world, until in recent years, we've not really been taught to connect with our emotions. We've not really been taught to live from that place of our emotions. Okay, so it has been a gap for a long time between the effectiveness of our spirit and our body. And unfortunately, the link between the spirit and the body is the soul. That's why the Bible says, I wish above all things that you prosper in your health, even as your soul prospers. Your soul must prosper. And if your soul must prosper, you must be emotionally intelligent. You must be aware of your emotions. You must give your emotions that credence that it is a major part of you that you function from. Okay, and especially as parents, parenting takes a toll on our emotions. The children throwing tantrums, how the children are faring. You know that ordinarily when a child is ill, is as good as the mother is ill, because your emotions are scattered everywhere. Okay? So, as parents in particular, as human beings in general, we really need to understand our emotions and know how to function properly from that place. Because even even the spirits getting to you passes through your emotions. That's why the Bible says it is with joy that we draw from from the streams of salvation, from the well of salvation. So even the Bible is not oblivious of the place of our emotions, because joy is an emotion. Okay, but let's stick to let's not go too deep in that direction. Okay, so your emotions are very important. They're important for the wellness of your body. Okay, your emotions are important for the wellness of your body, because when you begin to have issues with your emotions, your body suffers it. Your emotions are important for the wellness of your spirit. So when you begin to have emotional issues, your spirit is down. And when your spirit is down, there are certain things you cannot receive. So even though your emotion seems to be like something in the middle, it is very essential. And that is why I'm happy that the conveners of this conference, even though it's a faith-based conference, understand that we have to be emotionally healthy. Okay? So emotional regulation deals with your ability to manage and modulate your emotions in response to different situations. Because when life throws issues at you, the first place it hits is your emotions. If you don't handle it well in your emotions, then you begin to feel it in your body. So you can you see how important the seat of your emotions are? You really, really need to, And as parents, it is also essential that we recognize that our emotions impact on our children directly or indirectly. You know that it is even said that a pregnant woman has to be careful what her emotional state is while she's pregnant, because she can transfer some of that into her pregnant child, into her child in her womb. So it's very, very important. So right from even when that child is in your womb, your emotional states affects the child. Let alone when you begin to interact, transfer aggression, and all that. The state, that's why as parents, it's very important that we are emotionally stable, we are emotionally healthy, because your emotional health and your emotional stability does have a direct impact on the quality of your parenting. Or else you keep snapping, and you know that children, especially when they are younger, when they begin to get older and they begin to understand certain things, they may be able to react to it differently, but in their formative years they really don't understand. So the all the work is on you to be able to self-regulate, so that you don't begin to traumatize them early. So it's very, very important that as parents, we recognize our emotions and we realize that our emotions can impact the quality of parenting that we are having. Okay? Because when stressed or overwhelmed, it can affect our relationship with our children and the ability to parent effectively. Okay, so it's very, very important that we are aware of this, because the first place to start with managing your emotions is self awareness. I say this all the time. The first place to start with managing your emotions is self awareness. And then the sad thing about the way the world is designed now is a lot of us are rolling on autopilot. We're not we're not pausing to say, how am I feeling? In fact, I need everybody to do that. I wish it was a platform where I could see my audience. I need you to touch your heart and pause and ask yourself, how am I feeling? How am I feeling? Because many times we just go on autopilot. There's a there's a nudging somewhere. You're not pausing to say, why am I irritated? Who did what? why did what they do, why did what they did, or why is what they did making me feel this way? What is triggered? Okay. So the first thing is self-awareness. We must be aware of our emotions. We must be aware of our feelings from time to time. Some of us have situations where you see somebody and you're just angry. And many times you cannot even trace it, that why am I angry every time I see this person? And then you still continue your autopilot without pausing to say, why am I angry? What did the person do? Has the person irritated me at some point? Okay? Has the person irritated me at some point? Getting to come back to do some form of reflection that helps you to be aware. Some of you just notice that at some point in the day, maybe you're feeling off. And you're not pausing to say, why am I feeling off? So it's very important to recognize your emotions. It's very important to recognize your emotions. Some of you just notice that sometimes you will flare up, but you have not paused to say, what makes me flare up every time I'm in this particular situation? Because that means that situation is triggering you and you don't understand your emotional triggers. Okay? Our emotional triggers are things in our lives or around us that trigger certain emotions in us. But a lot of us are not paying attention to our emotions in the first place. Not to talk of being able to identify that this is something that triggers me. Because if you know what triggers you, then you would know what to do to avoid those triggers. Or when you are triggered, you would know how to regulate yourself because you have an understanding of what is going on. So the first place to start from is self-awareness. And one of the major things you need to do to be self-aware is to be able to reflect on how you feel per time. Be able to reflect on how you feel per time. Be able to reflect on how you feel per time. If you're happy, look at the situation and ask yourself, I'm so happy. Why am I so happy? Okay, this and this just happened. But why is the joy this deep? So that when you are able to ask yourself these kind of questions, it helps you to know yourself better. Okay? So that you can intentionally, so when you know the things that make you happy, you can intentionally do more things that make you happy. If you know the things that get you angry, you can avoid the things that get you angry, or you know that okay, maybe the one that you cannot avoid, you understand what is going on, so it's easier for you to regulate. So it's very important to recognize our emotional triggers and patterns. It's of utmost importance to reflect on our emotions and identify the areas where we need improvements. Don't let us just continue to run on autopilot. We are designed to learn ourselves. I believe that one of the reasons why God put us here is to learn ourselves. And the more we learn ourselves, the better we can become. And the better we can become, the more impactful our lives can become to those around us, including the children we are parenting and including our spouses. You know, many so it's very important to be aware of your emotions. Now, when you are aware of your emotions, it is also very important to be able to name your emotions. Name your emotions. There's a quote that says, if you can't name it, you can't tame it. Let me say it again. I wish I could share my slides. If you can't name it, you can't tame it. Can somebody write that in the chat for me? I think I've seen one or two chats pop up. I'd like to see a chat pop up with that in it. If you cannot name it, you cannot tame it. And you know that our emotions are not our emotions, thank you. Thank you, 360 Connect. Our emotions are actually not directives. Our emotions are data. They are that's data that is informing us and helping us to make better decisions. But because we think that they are directives, we react without thinking through our emotions. But when you realize that your emotions is data, it's telling you something. Anger is telling you about your boundaries. Jealousy is telling you about what you desire. Okay, so our emotions are data. There are certain things they are communicating to us, and if we can hear what they are communicating, we can regulate them and we can make the most of them. Okay, so it's very important that you can name your emotions. Another thing naming your emotions helps you to do is it helps you to detach and be objective. Okay, there's this example I like to, I like to give. There was a day I had this very stressful day at work, and coming home, I was stressed. And then I got home and I realized I still needed to cook. I still needed to arrange one or two things. So I was tired, but because I was overwhelmed, I was very irritable. Okay. And then I entered my room and then my spouse said something. I just gave him a funny body language and I couldn't wait to get out of that room. As I was coming down the stairs, my daughter was asking me a question. I realized that I snapped. So at some point, I had to pause and say, Tayo, calm down. What's going on here? Okay, you are irritable. Why are you irritable? You are stressed, you are overwhelmed, and you still have a lot to do. Okay, so why? So, okay, that is taken. What can you do about it? Then I had to now tell myself that people you are snapping at and you are giving body language, they are not the cause of your problem. Oh. They are not the one that stressed you at work. They are not the one that caused the traffic you had to sit in before you get home, before you got home. You know, being able to name that emotion gave me that time, and then having that habit of reflecting on my emotions gave me that time to sit aside. I detached myself from the emotions, and when I got off from that self-talk, I was able to relate with every member of my family differently. And that is what we talk about when I talk about managing your emotions. Okay, because your emotions are there, they are very real and they are very valid. But you must be able to you must be aware of them. You must be able to name them and then objectively regulate them. Okay, so let's talk about a few strategies for managing your okay. So those are the two major strategies I'll give you for managing your emotions. Be aware of it, be able to name it, then make you can detach from it and objectively respond to it as against reacting, which is what most of the time we do. So sometimes you come back, you are overwhelmed. Tell your child, please give mommy 2 minutes. Let me calm down. Okay? So take that moment with yourself, calm down, then come back and be with your child with, a better disposition. It's very possible. But if you are not aware of why you are the way you are, or why you are in that state, and you cannot name it, you may not be able to respond to it appropriately. So when you can name your emotions and you are aware of it, you can also communicate it better. Okay, and then you can do better with however you are feeling. I hope that was helpful. I think we can go on from here, even though I still have a lot of slides. Okay, so let's talk about stress management because we're talking about emotional regulation and we're talking about managing your emotions and managing your stress. So let's quickly move to managing your stress. Okay. So the truth is that the world we are in now is a lot more overwhelming than it used to be. Every human being every parent especially is wearing numerous hats. Okay, you are the wife or you are the spouse, you are the worker, you are the parent, you are the business owner. Some of us are even juggling one or two hustles together just to make sure that ends meet. right? And then if you live on this side of the world, so many things are also asking for your attention and trying to stress you. So it's like, especially for the average Nigerian, it's like stress is like a major part of the package. And so everyone needs to be educated on strategies to manage stress. And you know that the truth is that these children, like my they didn't ask to be born. That's the truth. In fact, many times we are the ones that even prayed and say, "Oh God, please, if you can do this for me." So the truth is, despite our stress, we still need to be able to relate with them appropriately, and we still need to be able to support them as much as we can. Okay, so it's very important that we have strategies to manage our stress. One of the first ones I will tell us is prioritize self care. Prioritize self care. Take time for activity, your mind, activities that nourishes your body, your spirit, and your soul. Okay? Watch your diet, do your exercise, take time to reflect, take time to be mindful. I know these are not mindfulness and reflection are not things that we're told every day, but the truth is that they are very powerful tools that can really help us to recalibrate. Okay, so take time for self-care, and then self-care varies for different people. Okay, so what works for you? And that is why I say self-awareness. You must know yourself. You must know what helps you to de-stress. De-stress, de stress. You must know what helps you to de-stress, and you must know whether your strategies for de-stressing are helpful strategies or harmful strategies. Now I'm going off my slides completely, but let me quickly jump into that, okay? Because some of us have, we all have strategies that help us to cope with stress, but some strategies can actually be detrimental to our health. Okay. For example, those that distress with hard drugs, alcohol, and things like that, those are strategies that are more harmful than helpful. Okay. So make sure that your strategies are more helpful than harmful. That's the whole masterclass on its own. But I just needed to say that because we all have things. Some of us like to shop. So you will come home happier, but your pockets will be crying. So it's very important that you have strategies to de-stress. And that's why you must know yourself. You must know what makes you happy. You must know what you can do to actually de-stress. The second one is set boundaries. Life is overwhelming. Set boundaries. It is very important to be able to say no. Okay? Set realistic expectations with others and protect your time and your energy because everything is asking for those two things in today's world. Social media is asking for it, your office is asking for it, your children are asking for it, your spouse is asking for it. Many times, many of us don't even know ourselves again because we are just scattered everywhere because everything is asking for our time and our energy. So you need to be able to set boundaries. You need to be able to say no. Okay. And you know that for everything you say yes to, you are saying no to something else. And for everything you say no to, you're saying yes to something else. So you must be able to say no, objectively and not feel bad about it. So, and then, so that you must be able to do that. Okay. That's very important. Then have a support system. The spirit, I always say that the spirit of let us is the spirit of creation. No? The spirit was left us. God in his almightiness could have created man, but he still called the angels and said, let us make man in our own image. So the spirit of let us is the spirit of creation. Get a support system, build a support network, family, friends, of course, be there for people so that they can be there for you too. Not necessarily so that they can be there for you, but you get what I'm trying to say because the truth is that it has to do with emotional bank account. That's another masterclass. When you put deposits, you can withdraw. So have a support system. It's very, very important. Have people that can count on you, that you can count on also. Okay, who can be emotional support for you and can give you practical help. Then, of course, it's also very important that you manage your time very optimally, because your time is your life, right? And the way time goes these days, am I the only one that feels like it? It feels like the world cannot wait to come to an end. Like you just blink and then you're like, 1 hour. It looks like in recent years, 1 hour is way shorter than it used to be when I was growing up. Okay. So it's very important that you can manage your time, prioritize your task, delegate tasks where possible. Let me say that again. Delegate tasks where possible. Okay. Take regular breaks and maintain a healthy work life balance. Okay. And for parents specifically, it's very important to let go of perfection. A lot of times we want to get things so perfectly done with the house, with our children, you know. Perfection is good, but you understand what I'm trying to say. You know where to draw the lines to be able to say, okay, this is good enough. Let's be able to move on to, and then it's okay to make mistakes. Pick up yourself. Be kind to yourself. Life is very challenging. Okay, be kind to yourself. Have self-compassion. Treat yourself with kindness. The same kindness with which you would have treated others. Because a lot of us are kinder to other people than we are to ourselves. Treat yourself with kindness. Understanding that, just as kindness and understanding, the same way you would have been able to treat a friend of yours or somebody that comes to you looking for succor. So treat yourself with kindness. Let go of over perfection. Get things done excellently well, but not don't always, because sometimes that needs to be perfect keeps us grounded. So focus on excellence, not perfection. Okay. Embrace imperfection, focus on being present, and engage with your children rather than trying to make them perfect. They are human beings, they are on their journey as you are on your journey. So engage with them, be present with them, do your best. Okay? Do your best. Pray about everything and just do your best and trust God to help you through the whole journey. Then be patient. Managing your emotions and stress is a journey. Even even those of us that have certifications in these things, we are not perfect. It's a journey. So there are days that you feel like you have a very good hang of it. There are days that feels like, oh, I'm falling apart. Pick up yourself again. Be patient with yourself. Don't give up on yourself. There are two different things. Be patient with yourself, but don't give up on yourself. Be patient, okay? Understand that it's a journey and strive to just get better on the journey. I said it's a journey, it's not a destination. I don't think you ever have a time where you say, I have finally arrived. No, it's a journey. Also, because at different times, life throws different things at us. And sometimes we never see some things coming. But if we understand that it's a journey, we can pick up with the things that we are learning and keep consistently working on that emotional regulation and emotional intelligence as we continue to get better. Okay? Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge and celebrate your small victories, even if they seem insignificant. To a very large extent, it's easy for us to see how other people are progressing more than we see how we are progressing. I think it's just a thing with man. So pay attention to how you are progressing and celebrate your small wins, because this will give you fuel to move further. Okay? Then seek help when needed. Don't hesitate to speak to a professional if you are struggling with overwhelm, emotions, or stress. Okay? Thank God that the stigma is reducing a lot, and people are getting more aware of the need and the importance of your mental health, managing your stress, managing your emotions. So if you need to seek help, seek help. Don't have a pain in your body and then you are still grinding. Okay? Don't have a pain in your body and then you are still grinding and you are still moving on despite that pain. Seek help. please seek help. If you are going through any form of abuse, look for somebody trusted you can talk to. Don't die in silence. It's very, very important. Don't die in silence. Seek help. If it's a professional help, if it is the support you need, don't be afraid to get help. Everybody needs help in one way or the other. Okay? So seek help. Even with your children, seek help. Okay? That is very, very important. Even with your children, seek help where you seek help from trusted places, from professionals, so that it makes the journey easier and more bearable. Then finally, remember, standing strong doesn't mean you are invincible. It means you are willing to acknowledge your vulnerabilities and take care of yourself. It's a journey. Always remember that. Don't give up on yourself. Don't feel like, oh, at this point, I've done the worst. No, it's a journey. Pick up yourself from wherever it is. And the days where you are doing well with identifying those emotions, the days where you are doing well with being objective and regulating, celebrate those days and let them be fuels for the days that seem like you're not doing as well. But keep on the journey. Continue to take care of yourselves. Find what makes you happy. Very, very important. Note what makes you happy so that in the days when you are feeling down and you need to deliberately trigger joy, you can go to those things that make you happy, because those are the things that help us to cope with life and the stresses of life. Okay? Find what makes you happy. Keep being aware. Okay, let me give you a few tips of, things that can also help your emotional awareness. Journaling is very, very important for those that do it. I do it. Okay, sometimes when I'm emotionally bombarded and overwhelmed, I take my journal. I just dump everything on my mind in it, because it's a way of getting a no judgment. You are sure this one, you're talking to book now, so you're not afraid of anybody knowing your secret or judging you. But by the time I'm done onboarding into my journal, I feel a lot better. And sometimes I write letters to God and I'm like, dear God, I know you see me. I know you know me. I know you understand what I'm going through. And then by the time I'm done with that, and then it also helps me to process my emotions. Okay. So journaling is a very, very good practice. Having Checking on your emotions and doing an emotion data is also important. Different times of the day, pause. How do I feel? Write it down. In the evening, when you're doing your reflection, you can look at the different variety cocktails of emotions that you have experienced during the day. You can ask yourself why you experience those things, and then you can learn yourself enough to stay away from things that keep triggering you, and then do more of the things that help you to be in that good space emotionally. So I said a lot tonight. I'm watching my time. I have 45 minutes, and it's looking like I'm hitting my 45 minutes in a few seconds. I'm available for questions for anyone that has a question in the chat box. There goes my 45 minutes. Thank you very much for your time. Hello. Okay.
Wow. I was just trying to write. If I am your student, not if I were. I was just writing and writing. I just need to go and watch this again. Thank you so, so much. I don't know about other people, but for me, this was therapeutical listening to her. I don't know how you felt to other people, but that was how I felt. I felt like I was listening to a therapist. I was listening to a counselor and all that. So yes, let's know. How did you feel? Okay, that white said amazing, awesome. I just listened. I tried writing, but I noticed I was more concerned with just listening. Thank you so much, Ma, for your time. Emotional regulation is it's great. She talked about self-awareness. Are you aware of yourself? So let's know. What did you learn? What did you learn from this session? Please go on in the comment section. Type in. Let's know what stood out for you in this session. She talked about self-awareness. How much of yourself do you know? We must be aware of our emotions. You need to learn to reflect on how you feel per time and identify where you need improvement. Otherwise, it's saying thank you so much, ma. Yeah, name it to tame it. That's the word. Name it to tame it. You need to name your emotions. Name your emotions. So if you can't name it, you can't tame it. So instead of the usual outburst, transfer of emotions, anger, and all of that on people who have done nothing to you, why not get a learned behavior? Learn the behavior, learn the habit of taking time to name your emotions, calming down, reflecting, and then naming your emotions. I learned naming my emotions. It's when I can name it that I can regulate it. So name it. How am I feeling? How did this make me feel? What is triggering this? Thank you so much, ma. And then we need to respond to our emotions and not to react. A lot of times we react, me inclusive. Instead of responding to the emotion, which is a data, we do what? We react. So we begin to hurt people who have done us nothing. Our spouses, our children, our staff. Madam just came in, Oga just came in with paranoia. So everybody is taking cover. Daddy is at home, mommy is at home, everybody is taking cover because you don't know the one way you go talk. You know the one way you go do, you go enter trouble. That's reacting. Small question. We are already setting everywhere ablaze. God will help us. So very practical life. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma. And then stress management. Having all. We know that in recent time we've been so busy. Tell us now to sit down and write. Because everybody sit down and write the things you are engaged in the month of May. Some of us may not even know that we are that engaged. We are that much engaged. Your wife or your husband, you're a spouse. Like she said you're a spouse, you're a parent, you're a staff, you're a business owner, you are this, that. You also occupy positions both in church, in many other organizations you belong to, and all that. All of that. Of course, being in this part of the world, if you live in Nigeria, it's stressful on its own. So how do I manage myself, my stress? She said something. Prioritize self-care. Oh, I took that. Prioritize self-care. Oh, everybody, prioritize self-care. Do activities, carry out activities that nourishes you. It is you first, oh. When you are healthy, you can then go ahead to raise healthy children. Thank you so much. Please, if you have questions you want, if you have questions you want her to answer, go ahead and type in your questions. She talked about setting boundaries. Be able to say no. Be realistic with your expectations. And then she talked about building support systems. Build support network. Find people around you. Don't be an island at any time. So much got in. Manage your time well. Let go of perfection. That one, she was talking to me. Oh, let go of perfection. And then be patient. It's a journey. It is a journey. Be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. We need to hear this again. It's a journey. That you snapped today doesn't mean that you have failed it all. This thing you've been working on since, and then today it snapped. It's a journey. You just keep getting better. Thank you so much. So let's bring our questions. Hey people, let's have your questions. What questions do you want to have her answer this evening? Yes, we said the things we learned. What questions do you want her to answer? Yeah, Ada, be patient with yourself. Yeah, be patient. Stella, that's to me too. Stella, be patient with yourself. It's a journey. It's a journey. There are sometimes it looks like everything is just falling apart. But then be patient. I should learn to be patient with myself. And then things will get fixed. We work towards fixing things. Lots of times the things we stress ourselves about, we worry so much about, just don't even happen. Or better still, God has a way of just fixing it. So take it easy, be patient with yourself. And she talked about seeking help. Seek for care, seek for help when you need it. Please don't be silent. Don't be quiet when you should be speaking out, when you should be calling for help. Please, again, don't be silent. Don't be quiet when you should be screaming for help. If you need help, go find it. You need professional help, whatever help you need. But make sure you are seeking help in the right places. Again, make sure you are seeking help in the right places. Okay, if we have no questions, I have a question for you, Ma. I have a question for you. I have a question for you. Please, can you bring her back on the screen? So, I am learning how to manage my emotions, learning how to manage my own stress and my stress level. So, how do I go about, first of all, how do I even identify my stressors? One, how do I, oh, somebody is saying this one is a great medication for me. So, one, how do I really identify my stressors? And two, I know what to do, but what if the next person, maybe my partner, doesn't understand self regulation, emotional regulation, and all of that, stress management? And then it looks like we're supposed to be partners in this, but it looks like we're just on two ends, or just separate walls, separate, I'm trying to, what do I do? What do I do for myself? And then, of course, if possible, how do I help my partner?
Okay, thank you very much. How do you understand your stressors? And that's still the question around self-awareness. You can understand your stressors by observing yourself. Okay? And that's why I kept nailing on reflection. Reflection. Don't go through stress and just go through it for going sick. Sit down and analyze it. Why did this situation stress me? What could I have done better? Why did it go this way? If you can sit down and do that self reflection, you'll be able to identify what your stressors are. And then when you have an outburst, can you sit down and say, what triggered that? Is it something from my past? Is it something that the person actually did at that point? Or is it a build up of what the person has been doing? May on this day, the cup now got filled. So the only way to understand your stressors is to reflect, okay, and learn yourself. Because what can be a stressor to me may not be a stressor to you, because of our individual differences, our background, our life experiences, and how we just view life generally. So first, to understand your stressors, your self-awareness needs to come up a notch higher. And your self-awareness can come up a notch higher if you are not reflecting. If you are not reflecting, because if you don't reflect, every experience just comes and goes. It's almost a waste. The only way you can make the most of your experiences is to reflect on them, which is one thing journaling can do for you. Because so sometimes I may not journal a long time, but I just sit down one evening and I'm like, okay, the last 3 days, what has been? happening to me. And then I begin to write. I begin to write. In that moment of spending that time with yourself, things will come to you. You would identify things, and then you'll be able to say, okay, so next time, if I see this kind of thing coming, I would avoid it in this way, or I would treat this person this way. You understand? So, majorly, long and short, to identify your stressors, you must observe yourself, you must reflect on your experiences, and you must learn yourself. Now, to the spouse matter, your locus of control is you. That's a major deliverance. I think I can close church now. Your locus of control is you. You really don't have power over any other person. The best you can do with other people around you is influence. You can't change anybody. So your locus of control is you. So own your own power first and learn to shield yourself first, because you really, really, really don't have power over that next person. So you are aware. If you are aware and you know, okay, these are the kind of the things that this person does that triggers me. The ones you can avoid it. The ones you cannot avoid because you don't have power over him, have a way you have made up your mind to respond, not react to it. So if you know that this particular thing, he does it often and it triggers you, prepare your mind in advance on how to respond, so that way, because you are present in the situation, it's not something that is happening to you without your power. You know how to shield yourself and keep yourself. And of course, to help him, the best way is communication. Now, it also now depends on how open he is to communication. However, if I would say something about communication, always remember the purpose of your communication. Your purpose is not to let him feel your pain, even though, yes, naturally, that's how we want to. Your purpose is to get through to him. Because many times, when we want to make our partners know how we are hurting, we often use words that hurts. And the first thing that we get is defense and not openness. So if we can come from the angle of, see, we are a team in this place. I'm not saying this to pull you down. I just need you to hear me. Okay? So how we are communicating is also very important. But the best we can do with external people is communication, and pray and hope that as we communicate, the Lord gives them understanding ears and they can come around. And then, of course, when they too are communicating to us, God should give us two understanding ears, so that the places where we also need to make adjustments, we can make adjustments. But till that time, when they are making adjustments, we need to understand our locus of control, which is us. Learn how to avoid what will stress you. The ones that you cannot avoid, have a strategy for response. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ma. That goes a long way to telling us that the many times we react instead of responding. Thank you so much, Ma, for reiterating that, for saying it again. That please, let's do more of response than reacting. Remember that locus of control is you. You do not have a control over the way the
The next
next
person.
person will behave. Not even, you don't even have a control over how your children will behave. But you will choose either to respond or react. So let's choose today to do more of responding than reacting to so many issues of life. It will help us a lot. Thank you also for reminding us about the power of journaling and the power of reflecting. I will say it again, just like I say in my own accountability community, that don't just come back from all the hustle and bustling of the day, and all you do is just take your bath and just jump on your bed and sleep. Wake up the next day and start life. It doesn't help you at all. Please take time to reflect. What's happening? What happened? How did things go? What do I need to do more? What do I need to work more on? What do I need to drop? This thing doesn't take 10, 15, 20 minutes. The good thing about it is that you can even lie down on your bed while doing that. Do you get? Just declutter every day and then journal. Sister T, it's like we need to do a proper master class about this journaling because so many people don't understand the power of journaling. True. And can I tell you that now life is even easy? Do you know you can even do oral journaling? Talk to that one dey sweet.
Yes.
No, that one is very sweet.
Yes.
All that hala wey you for hala, just go your phone.
Yes.
Then listen to yourself. You know the good thing about audio journaling is that sometimes if you play that thing, you go shout blood of Jesus. Let me talk that thing. Was it me? I'm telling you, and it helps us. It helps us. Please don't just listen and go. Practice some of this. Start today. Reflect. Just before you go to bed. Just think about how the day went. Plan your tomorrow. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing shouldn't be, yeah, let me jump, let me go and on the heater. Or yeah, let me get to the kitchen for the women here. And for the men, it's not you just anyway, I don't know, but I think that a lot of times men reflect before they get out of the bed. I don't know. Maybe the men I have seen in my life, they're not quick to jump out of the bed like we women. I don't know. That's my own thoughts. I don't know if I'm correct. Because women, our brain, we wake up, if we're waking up 5 o'clock, our brain start working 3:30 or 4 a.m. So, I understand that part. But can we take time to reflect? Reflecting, for me, reflecting and journaling and all those, they are learned behaviors. You learn them, you grow on them, and it helps us. It helps us. So those things you would have said, say it on your journal. Reflect, just calm down, Sha, and stop transferring aggressions. And then let's do more of responding than reacting. Thank you so much, Ma, for being here. Sister Tayo does a whole lot of things. Please, if you have never been on her live session, you are missing. You saw the way she was talking, writing, but I wanted to listen more than write because it was to me like I was in a therapy class. So imagine having this every Sunday. Is it every Sunday or
Every 2 weeks, every fortnight.
every fortnight? Having to listen to her for 1 hour. Just
No,
speak.
30 minutes.
Oh, is it 30?
Yeah,
Only
30 minutes. 30 minutes to 40 minutes. I don't do 1 hour again.
Oh,
Because I
oh,
need people
so
I need to respect people's time, people's data. And then because it's Sunday
yeah.
evening, people need to prepare for work the next morning. So between 40 to 20, 30 to 40 minutes, I try to be out.
Okay. So please tell us about what you do, and then please talk about Talk to Temi. Yeah, I
Okay.
just want to hear that.
Okay, so I'm an educator. That's the first hat that I wear because that's what I have been the longest. I'm an educator. I think this year will make my 30th year in being an educator because I started as a teenager. My mom has a school. We started her school with her. We used to be the lesson teachers, in the school and all. And that was 1995. So this year makes me 30 years in the education industry. Okay, so I'm an educator. I run a school. in Gariki. Okay, people tell me I should say you own a school. Stop saying you run a school, but I like to say I run a school. Thriving Treasure Schools in Gariki, Area 2, for nursery and prime is a nursery and primary school. Um, I'm a mental health advocate. I'm I'm a trained, certified mental health first aider. So I do advocacy for mental health. I do advocacy. I do trainings for emotional intelligence, and anger management. I'm an artist. I draw. I paint. I'm a one-time author. I should go back to writing. I'm the author of the book. If this isn't love, what is? And Auntie Stella, you need to come and get those books for your teenagers and your preteens too. I know you got a copy. You did a book reading with it some years ago. Those books are still available, and you know the knowledge is still ever fresh. So I do have that book written. It's a book with the theme of peer pressure, teenage crush, and you know those things that teenagers deal with. Okay, so what is, and I am the curator of Talk to Temi. So Talk to Temi is a fortnight conversation I have on Instagram Live every 2 weeks on my Instagram handle every fortnight. I talk about different topics from stress management to mental health to self-regulation to maximizing your health. I just finished a 5-part series on sleep last Sunday. So this month of May, because it's mental health awareness month. So this month of May, starting from next week, Sunday, I'm not doing this week because we had the last one last week. Starting from next week, I will start talking on mental health issues, and now have um we can have better and more stable mental health. So it's a fortnight, is a conversation I have every fortnight on Instagram Live, very packed with a lot of value. If you can spare that 30 minutes, 40 minutes, it will be great. And then, of course, after the conversations, I always have the recordings on my Instagram page. So you can follow me at Temitayo Ibikunle on Instagram. You can also do short videos, just 1 minute videos about different issues of life. Okay. So if you follow me on Instagram, you can be a part of see some of my videos, quotes, and then of course listen to some of the replays of Talk to Temi. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Ma. So let's have your final word before we end this session. So before she takes her final word, the next session is by 8 p.m. And then we are having Irene Bangwell come talk to us on standing strong, raising wholesome girls. Standing strong, raising wholesome girls. That's not a section you should miss. It's 8 p.m. If you need to quickly do a check on your children, everything that needs to do, put them in bed and all of that, please do it quickly. And then that will be another session. Please don't miss it for anything. 8 p.m. is the time. All right, Sister Temi, over to you for your final words just before we go.
Okay, so I'd like to use the final words I used while I was talking. Remember, standing strong doesn't mean you are invincible. It means you are willing to acknowledge your vulnerabilities and take care of yourself. It means you are willing to continue to work on yourself because you realize that it is a journey, not a destination. Thank you.
All right, once again, thank you so much, sis, for always doing this for us. God bless you. All right, people, see you all 8 p.m. Bye bye.